This week on Maximize Minimal Living, Curtis and I explored Coac Falls near Fredericton, New Brunswick. We hiked some old logging roads and come across some mind-boggling sights, before ultimately finding our target and, as usual, get right out on the edge, and we take this hike to a next-level experience.
What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode here on Maximize Minimal Living. And today, Curtis and I are going back to our roots, actually. In the very first episode of Maximize Minimal Living was Curtis, Sam, and I heading out to Fredericton Falls. I think that's what it was called. Where we actually had quite a journey to actually try and find where the trail started. And so we're going back to that, and we're coming out to see Coac Falls, which is right outside of Coac, between Coac and Fredericton. So we've spent some time kind of figuring out the roads, and we think we've found the trailhead, and we're going to head in. There's a couple different junctions that we have to find, including one where there's supposed to be a big old log across the road. So hopefully that log's still there to indicate exactly where we're supposed to go. But ultimately, we should come to a waterfall, which will be pretty nice. It wasn't supposed to rain. We're not ready for the rain, and it's raining right now. So it should be a good day. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Ready to go.
Ready as always? All right, let's get on the trail. All right, so we are about to head up that road, and we're supposed to follow it up until we get to the point where there is a big log across a shoot off that will lead us to a three-way junction, and we're supposed to stick to the right. So Alright, so we started along this trail. It's supposed to only be just under 600 meters until the turnoff. There's been a couple of them kind of like this off to our left, which is the direction we're supposed to be going in. Maybe it's that one, actually, because there is a big log, but it looks like it was sawed off. So this is a big log, and you can see that it was sawn off. It was supposed to be to keep out ATVs. But we'll check this out. We'll saunter up here for a while, see what we can see.
So now we're here at looks like the second junction on the map, where we have to kind of keep towards the right. The trail does go off in a couple different directions.
Yeah, so I think it's so it was about 350 meters up from this point from that log that was cut. And then you can see there's a road coming in from there. It goes off straight or it goes to the right. So we're just gonna follow that way. I think it's another 500-600 meters. Kind of beautiful to scale though. Destructive, but still impressive.
So this is the next little junction that we're at here. We're going to keep right again and continue on towards the falls. It should be a little bit of ways to go still, but just got to keep right and we'll get there eventually.
So I think it's 1.3 kilometers just under that down this current road. And just as a FYI, normally you come hiking, you're in the woods, it's nice and protected. It's 5 degrees right now and drizzly and very exposed. So maybe do this hike on a nice sunny day. So it is important to note that a lot of times to do wood harvest sustainably, you have to leave kind of some of these patches in the middle, which act as a buffer and kind of act as a shelter for a lot of animals in the area.
It also helps increase connectivity between the actual complete forest. And so in a way, there is ways of doing it sustainably that make sense and actually help promote biodiversity and a whole bunch of other things. It's just very hard to get that balance right. So there is a note in Hiking NB that talks about no bonfires in this area, and you can kind of really get a sense of why where I'm standing right now. You can imagine that in the summertime, if it hasn't rained like it's doing right now in a while, all of this deadfall, all of this brush is nice and dry. And out here where the wind is kind of quite strong in this open field, some small spark that hits a patch of dry grass could pretty much send this whole place up in flames. And so we really want to be careful when you are spending time in the woods. Pay attention to the rules, because most of the time they're there for a reason. You can definitely tell right now, it's definitely raining. If you listen very carefully in the background, you can actually hear the falls. I'm assuming that means we're pretty close, but I don't exactly know how to get there, because they're down at the bottom of this ravine and we're all the way up here. We're gonna keep going along this trail and maybe see if it cuts down and it goes downwards. Yes, this is what it's supposed to be. Deep Dug ATV trail on the left. Make our way down the hill.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how they call this an ATV trail. That's near plumb vertical.
Any ATVers coming down this have a freaking death wish.
And what's really nice with waterfall hunting is that you can often hear them way before you can see them. Holy hell, Batman. All right, so what we're gonna try and do now is actually make our way up to the top of the falls, but instead of trying to do battle with all the greasy rocks, we're gonna try and fight our way up all of this deadfall. It's a lot of water! All right, Curtis and I are about to take a big old swim in that there big boy. So it's 5 degrees, it's cold, the water's cold. Curtis is getting his towel out. But as long as we get in, we get across, and we get out. Once we dry off and get up to the top, hopefully we'll be nice and warm again.
out of the water. We're all dried up, re-kitted. We actually feel pretty good. Not really cold at all. Once you get out and you get moving a little bit, body temperature comes right back where it's supposed to be. We do still have to be a little careful. And as you can maybe tell, the rain has started again. So we're gonna get a wiggle on, get back out of this gorge. Oh, the rain's really starting to come down now. Get a wiggle on, Curtis. Are we going that way or are we going back up there?
Go back up that way.
All right, we're gonna head up the waterfall again, and we think maybe it joins back up with the trail up at the top. All right, so we're back in the car now. It took us about just over a half hour, actually, just under a half hour to get back here. So the whole hike is about 2.7 kilometers, and you could realistically do it probably in about 45 minutes each way. The trail is super easy to follow, nice and wide, easy to walk. The only part is that big old hill right at the end, right before the falls, which is a little bit sketchy to get down. But assuming that you're comfortable doing that, it really is a beautiful hike, a beautiful waterfall to see. Very cold, but I mean, that should be expected when it's April and 5 degrees out. But it was definitely one hell of a good time. Definitely recommend. Just obviously you're gonna wanna, you know, follow the rules and be courteous to the other people into the space. And so with that, we're gonna sign off for another week here on Coastal Trails Media, and we look forward to catching you guys on the next one.
Holy shit. I thought about ducking my head and then I didn't do that because I would die. I would have died if I ducked my head.
That's good that you filmed it though.